Oh yeah.
Political commentator
correct.
dude.
Victor. No, I think before that was BFM lah. I guess if you consider that a podcast. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Victor's before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently Victor posted a video about Dead Parts.
No, what is that?
Dead Parts is this content creator. She showed up at a Palestine rally in Malaysia. I think this was because of the GSF. The Malaysians that were on board to come over, to release them. IDF took them hostage for a couple of days. So Dead Parts was at this rally to protest. The podcast started already, by the way. What's up, guys? This is Team Tiah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was saying she was at this rally and then she was posting. She was saying like, I'm a Chinese, but then I am supporting Palestine. And then she put in a caption that basically you're not a Malaysian if you don't support Palestine lah. And then Victor Tan, the guy he did the podcast with, he posted a video. It's like trying to criticize, and he didn't really agree with this girl Dead Parts, saying like, why do you have to support Palestine to be a Malaysian? Talking about the topic of why don't non-Malays in Malaysia support Palestine. I think you posted something.
Oh, my wife did it actually.
Yeah.
She posted a video about why non-Muslims appear to be less vocal about it.
Non-Malays
yeah.
Also
non-Malays tend to appear to be less vocal, but actually a lot of them do. For me, I'm a bit more vocal about it. My wife is quite vocal about it. We do support Palestinians, like Free Palestine, and we're really against this whole thing.
Do you follow much?
I do. We follow.
Bro, I also follow.
Yeah.
So October 7 was 2023, right? And 2024, I started following 2024 first quarter. I watched mostly a lot of Piers Morgan, right? Some people say he's very biased. He seemed that way at the start. Then after that, I think it's quite fair, But then at the start, right, bro, because I didn't know the conflict, right? When October 7 happened, did you know the history already or?
Oh no, I didn't actually. So actually, okay, you're talking about when, right? Like the first few hours, no, we were all fixated on that one micro event that was happening without looking at the whole long-term thing.
Yeah. And
only over time that we began to understand what's going on lah. And maybe that was the goal of it. It helped the world really pay attention and dig into the whole struggle.
Yeah, so at the start, right, when I'm just trying to learn about this, right, I'm not saying that I know so much in depth. Honestly, there's so many layers, okay. One side thinks that the other side is genocide supporter. They just label it as that. And the other side believe that that's their right to their actually both sides also believe they have rights to the land lah. But just talking about how come non-Malays in Malaysia don't actually speak up much about this. Honestly, right, this is my personal experience, right. Most people I know, right, non-Malays, a lot of them just don't care, man. They just don't care. They don't know much about it, honestly. Yeah. And also, right, because it's a very sensitive issue, right, serious, and also it's a very serious matter, amount of people are dying, they feel like they have to be properly read on it or educated before they make an opinion or take a stance or blah blah blah. And like for me, right, bro, I've been watching interviews, debates all for more than a year already, and I still can say that I can't tell you the whole history. So I think that's also the reason why a lot of people don't say much about it. Tim, yeah, so you run Colony.
Yeah.
When did Colony start?
2017.
2017. I know you've been in the social media space for a long time, man. Was it called social media? Blogs considered?
Blogs first. That was the first social media thing lah. Then moved on to actually it was blogs, then Twitter. Now and then Instagram and all that lah.
Bro, congrats on reaching 100k.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad you came here to celebrate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Dude, I see your content, right? It's super interesting, very relatable. I don't consume much of local content. Yeah, but your content, it just keeps popping up. Why do you think the last few months you can grow so fast, man? I think it grows 70k like that in 2 months.
Yeah, a few months. I think. To be honest, I don't really know. I don't have it figured out,
Because you were posting also before that.
Yeah, I think I just knew that this. I mean, I always had some form of social media following in the past, but then there were years that I just neglected my social media lah. I never really. It's just not part of my identity lah. You know what I mean? Like it's being an influencer and all that. It's not really something that I necessarily want to be, you know, but it's just that this year actually I started, you know, there's now a lot of talk about like, oh, how CEOs of companies or entrepreneurs should make use of their social media profiles to do more, you know, to brand themselves more. I mean, there are literally agencies that help entrepreneurs with this now.
Like being big on LinkedIn is
Yeah.
like become a necessity for CEOs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. And I don't think, I'm not saying that you have to, but I mean, it's a tool that you have, you know, that, and whether you're gonna use that tool or not. And so I thought, okay, fine, let me do it. You know, let me try it. And initially, I tried some ways that I worked with an assistant, and typical ways of me just talking to the camera. I did one with David and his ice bath and all that, but it's just really against my own nature lah. Like I'm not that kind that likes to talk to the camera about myself or anything like that. It's just not my style.
I'm so not like I'm the same lah, bro.
So then it just came to me that I actually really like watching videos, in
YouTube.
particular YouTube videos, right, where they explain things and they have all those B-rolls and all that show different things, and it just keeps me very engaged. And then I thought, oh, that's perfect because I can talk about things and not about myself. And because I feel uncomfortable talking about myself, so I can talk about things. And actually, my initial idea was, the videos don't even have my face; it's just my voice. But then my assistant was like, no, you got to have your face there, show yourself talking there, at least some variation or some visual shots and all that.
Your assistant, curious, is
Yeah.
a younger person.
Yeah, he's a guy lah. He's a guy. His name's Nash. Yeah.
He's a Gen Z, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe he that's why he gave you the advice, because I think it's definitely easier lah for people to remember. They can see your face.
Yeah. So they wanted that, you know. But so he suggested. So I did that lor. And then it's just something, because it comes very naturally to me, because I have a lot of these little random thoughts on, you know. Like if I see this table, I don't just see a table. I'll be like, oh, okay, this table, you know, where is it from? Where's the wood from? Which company made it? Or did they buy it from overseas? Where did they import it from? What's the company that sells this wood?
You're operating
Like,
in a very high frequency all
it's
the
like
time.
Yeah,
Is that it?
it's like I trace a whole thing, you know what I mean? And then suddenly I get into a thought, oh, that's interesting, you know? And then sometimes I'll go and talk to AI, ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, and then I'll just like go down a whole rabbit hole to study something, you know? And so I already like to do that kind of nerdy stuff, and this is now just translating that into videos, you know, that do it lah. And but you know, look, I'm under no I'm under no belief that this will last. I don't think it will last, because I've been in influencer business ma. I've seen influencers, creators all come and go very quickly. So, you know, you can be trending now, you can be not trending the minute the algorithm changes its mind. You know, so I think that and for me it's just something I do, and I'll keep doing it as long as I have fun lah. But if I stop having fun over it, then I won't.
Okay. Hey, dude, can I ask just because like I mentioned earlier, right? I think one of the reasons why you suddenly grow so fast, right? Of course, the content is damn important, because how you do it, informative, easy for people to consume. You say you like watching YouTube videos, so imagine it's probably 10-minute, 7-minute video. You compress it into 1-minute reels like that lah. Yeah, and that's perfect lah for Instagram, TikTok. I'm sure you post on TikTok also. How long does it? You post every day. I see you post like 2-3. You know, how long does it take for you to churn out this content, man?
It can take anywhere from 15 minutes to half
15
an hour.
minutes.
Yeah,
That's so fast.
yeah. It can 15 minutes to half an hour.
You're talking about the writing or like?
Yeah, so it's so the longest part is that sometimes it can take up to an hour, because the most time consuming part is the ideation. Like, what is the topic that is worth talking about? That's the most difficult one, because you're coming from a blank slate, you know. And then, but once I get something that's interesting, then it comes to research, and research is so much easier now with, like, you know, Gemini and all that, right? And then you just need to like pull all the research out. Then you have to go through, read the articles lah, because sometimes the AI gets it wrong lah. You know, you have to show all the sources, and make sure it's all correct. And then then after that it comes to scripting. Scripting is then also a very important part, but AI makes it a lot easier to script the whole thing, and script is important so that we don't ramble. Because I only have like a 60 or 90-second slot, right?
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that every single word counts, you see. So then I got to work on that script. And then lastly is the editing. The editing is the easiest part lah.
But I would assume editing is the most time consuming.
No. It's the easiest because you can just outsource it. So my assistant helps me. But I use 2 freelancers. One even in Panama. That I just outsource. Say this is my shoot. This is the way I wanted it. They just
Okay, but up till editing, that one is all done by you.
yeah. All up to the editing, everything's done by me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
the editing part is outsourced. That's why
Yeah.
also probably that's one of the reasons why you can churn out so many in
Yes.
one day.
But
3 right a day.
3 a day.
That's damn a lot, man. Ideal.
But also the difficult part is the okay. But if it'd be great if it can scale if I can outsource everything. But I can't figure out how to outsource the ideation, the scripting, and all that yet. I can't figure that out. It's a bit harder for me.
Do you try to work with AI to get ideas?
I do, but
It's not.
everybody, look, all of us use AI now, right? And on its own, it's like, and so one of my friends, Vivi, was just telling me, she's like, how do you do these carousels? And how do you have these jokes? I say, oh yeah, I use AI to help me. We banter with each other to come up with this.
Oh, sorry, what do you mean carousels?
Like I said, I do these carousels that have a bit of fun humor in them, right?
What is carousels? You mean the one
Like yeah, swipe one.
How come? Oh, that's the format is called carousel.
Yeah, carousel. Yeah. So then she asked me. She said, "Oh, what do you use ChatGPT or what?" I said, "Yeah, of course." Then she says that, "Yeah, but ChatGPT isn't that funny." And I said, "Yeah, but it's just about how you use the AI." So I do think that there is a certain skill set when it comes to prompting AI.
100%.
It's not just like asking AI, but it's also about really like challenging and bantering between one another.
That one, right? Okay, that one specifically, that's the one, the carousel format, right? Is the one that that's how I first got your video started appearing. Like, how do you date a rich girl?
Yeah.
And it's the girl itself is the rich girl, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to advise guys how to find rich girls. Yeah. And then a lot of other similar ones also. It's just funny stuff, okay, good stuff. I thought that one you definitely write yourself.
Yeah.
But you say you work with AI for
I work
that.
with AI also. So I write, but then I work with AI because the AI helps to like AI. So I have like all these ideas. I'm like, okay, then use this line, and then it help me refine, and it'll fill in some gaps for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's scary, man, to think like some of the things where I think is fully creative and like what do you call it? Organic, right? It's actually you also work with AI.
Yeah,
already. They
definitely.
can't even tell, man.
Yeah. I don't think. Okay, so 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to do this. I can't without AI. I can't do this. I can't do it at this scale alone. At this frequency.
Rapidly also.
It really cuts out a lot of time from this. And 3 years ago, I can't.
I think also like just now, so I was saying most people, right, if they want to do videos like you, right, they take you do 3 a day. Most people, they probably do not every day, 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Most content creators are maybe because they are not as well versed with AI. Yeah, dude, I use ChatGPT sometimes, but it's damn simple stuff lah. Just like things that you would just search on Google, but then you just ChatGPT it. I try to use ChatGPT for podcasts. I always try. I end up most of the time using none of it. I just cannot. It's too generic. No.
Yeah.
No soul to it yet.
Yeah. That's true.
Then there's this the last previous guest that came on, Jake Abdullah, right? He was telling me he uses a lot of Opus clips. Yeah. Opus clips is I think mostly people who do podcasts. That's what they use. Then he was recommending like you should really try to use really selling Opus clips. So I tried to use it, right, bro. So what Opus clips does, you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Opus clips are just this AI editor for podcasts. I don't think it's specifically for podcasts, but a lot of podcast people use it. So you put your 1 minute 30 minutes 1 hour 30 minutes clip inside, right? Maybe rendering 10 minute 20 minute. They chop up the 1 hour 30 minutes into 10-12 clips like that, and it's clips of 1 minute lah. You can arrange the clips you want, how short the duration or. So I did that, and you chop up the clips, and then you also edit yourself, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking like, but what's the point of this? Because if you're just gonna chop it up, right, I can just chop that. It's so fast. You just clip here, clip there.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself. The hard part for me is like, let's say if I'm whatever podcast clips that I post, right, is to like you were mentioning just now, you put all the pictures, try to make it animated so it's easier for people to consume. That is the part that takes a long time. And then also trying to find the right a match of the conversation lah, like the right sequencing of the conversations. So I actually was quite hopeful when he was telling me about the Opus Clips thing, but I didn't find it useful.
So if you think about it, actually so you mentioned it correctly, like, maybe editing, finding the right B-rolls here and there is the most time-consuming part. But it's also the part where you provide the least value as a creator, because anyone can do it.
Yes.
So there are tons of videos like mine that have all these B-rolls anyway.
Yeah.
My format is not exactly new,
It's not.
Yeah. So I think the key is the key instead is like the ideas, the scripting, the execution of it, you see. But the good news is that part that is time consuming can be outsourced to a freelancer, and you can do it very cheaply. So it's
Can give me a price range,
150 ringgit per video.
like 1 minute clip like that.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
Everything.
Still not as cheap as I would expect.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's not cheap now.
Yeah, but I guess so. Then you can reinvest because it compounds. Because like if you get once you get some form of traction, like you can get. Okay, so like my I can tell you like my rate card for like a video, if an advertiser wants to do it, it's like 10K now for a video. So like that one video already will cover how many of these other videos?
The videos or the carousel?
Or the carousel can go up to 8K also.
Wow. That's
for
interesting.
Carousel ad, just one ad slot. So yeah, I mean, first you invest and then it makes then you reinvest that into more videos and all that. I mean, that Mr. Beast is known for that. Right? He gets whatever money and he just throws everything back into the content.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything he just put, and since the get go he's been using that model.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he's also the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just about let's plowing it back into the content. Yeah.
I think also it's interesting. You see your carousel ones, right? You put the ad right at the end. Some brands, right? They will think like, oh, they want to put it right at the front.
Yeah,
but if it's at the front, right, the main reason why you choose not to put it in the front is because you don't want to affect your engagement, right?
Okay, so for that carousel, that one where it's very related, right? I actually don't have a rate card for it because it's not open to anyone. It's not open to everyone. Basically, I do that content first, and then I'm like, what advertiser would fit in? If I can think of an advertiser that will fit in, then I'll get the advertiser in and say, okay, if you want it, this is the rate. But if not, right, I just do without it. So it's content first rather than the ad first.
It's so cool that you're talking about all this openly. I don't know whether creators usually talk about it, but how many percent of like the brands you work with you reach out instead of them reaching out? It's mostly you reach out, is it?
If it's the carousel, sometimes if I think of it with friends, I'll just ask some friends here and there. But mostly still a lot of it they reach out lah. Majority is they reach out.
Okay, because I have some content creator friends, right? They will say like they never reach out. And the reason why they say they never reach out, right, is because they say, oh, once you reach out, right, then they will always lowball you, something like that, when giving quotation or... that is true, but I don't think that's a good enough reason to not reach out at all, right?
I mean, I don't know, bro, because nothing I do is following the usual playbook, Like, if you look at any social media advice out there, they'll say, just always have a niche and be a key opinion leader in that niche. Then advertisers will price you more and you're more valuable, Look at me, man. I have no freaking niche, man. I'm just like randomly throwing shit out whenever I feel like it. It's just vibes, man. Like, I feel like one day it's like freaking about Malaysian government subsidies. Another day it's like my dog video. Another day it's some random shit.
Balik China.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really... Like, if you look at a normal playbook, they'll be like... And if you saw me, they'll be like, this influencer doesn't know what he's doing. He's all over the place. He's not going to get anywhere. So I don't even know, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't really have any strategy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, ChatGPT can't write this for you, can't write up this path for you on social media.
Yeah, if you ask ChatGPT this, like, how do I build a social media platform? They will tell you this. They'll tell you, like, make sure you have a niche, They'll tell you, don't do what I'm doing,
Bro, also one of the most common things that people were telling me when doing the podcast is also have a niche.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, if I have a niche, right, my mind is, I'm so selectively interested. I cannot focus on one thing all the time. I probably have undiagnosed ADHD that I feel is so limiting, But I mean, if I were to have, let's say, if I'm doing a fitness podcast, every guest is all fitness. What if sometimes I just like I don't feel like talking about this, or it could be repetitive. So I looked at it as in a more optimistic view, which is you might not specialize in a certain niche, but then there's a lot of positives also that come from having being open lah to talking about anything lah. Dude, can we just rewind all the way back, man? Because I've only heard of Nuffnang. I heard of Nuffnang. I didn't know much about it. I went and searched. Yeah. Can you tell me like what happened, man, bro, after your studies? Yeah, you studied in London.
I studied in London. I studied UCL. Then I started Nuffnang when I graduated.
You started right after.
Right after I graduated.
How did you, like you said your mind is always active. You're always thinking about how did that all come about, man?
Yeah, so I don't really.
You seem very stressed.
No, okay. So if one thing you'll notice about me, right? I'm not very.
You're very stressed.
I don't have a. No, I don't often have a big plan, or a big vision, or anything like that. I think like. So when I started Nuffnang, it's the same thing, right? I was just in the UK, and then back then blogging was a thing. Then I started blogging, I had fun, I got to know other bloggers. Then I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they have this idea where you have a company that represents collectively a lot of bloggers, and then I didn't think that I'm never the kind that said, oh, I must come out and start my own business. I cannot work for anyone else. For me, I thought, okay, I'll come back. If nobody starts this kind of business, I will start it. If not, I'll go get a job lah. And then I came back, nobody started it, so I started this business.
What was Nuffnang?
It was like it's really like an influencer network lah, right? But for blogs at the time.
Like let's say platform like Facebook like that, but the people's profiles are actually their blogs lah.
Yeah. So they have their own blogs, and then what we did is that we gave them like a script they can put on all their blogs so that it displays like banner ads. So then we did that lah. So we did that, and then eventually Nuffnang evolved to general social media because we covered all influencers, and then eventually it went to like social media agencies, performance agencies. I mean, at its peak, the company had like 250 staff in like 9 different countries.
How long did it take to grow to that size?
From 2007 we started, and 2015 we did an IPO in Australia, and then I left in 2016. After that, after IPO, then I decided to leave because I wanted to do something different.
Literally because of you were losing interest.
No lah, because I wasn't the CEO. My partner was the CEO, and then he wanted to run it, and I felt I wasn't really adding much value. So we had some disagreements about the direction of it. So I said, okay lah, and I'll just step back and I'll just go and start Colony and do something different. So I ended up starting.
But did you already have a plan after? I mean, sorry, when making the decision not to chow?
I had a semblance of an idea that I know I might start something, and maybe it'll be this co-working thing.
You already thought about co-working spaces?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought it was so I thought, okay lah, so I jumped into it lah. And
what gave you the idea lah of co-working? Even though you were still at Nuffnang, like how come you just suddenly?
So I visited my friend in Jakarta the first time, and then he's actually a VC. He's a guy named Wilson Chuacha. He does East Ventures.
Okay, Venture. Yeah.
East Ventures. And then he had this co-working space he just launched at the time. So I went to see him. He invited me to the launch, and then I was like, he was telling me about this. This thing, people rent a desk, and then you can rent private offices, and then there's this big company, WeWork, and everyone now is racing to be the company in Southeast Asia that WeWork will buy to enter the market, and all that lah.
His one was called WeWork.
No, his one was called back then it was called EV Hive. Then eventually changed to Co-Hive.
Okay.
So then after that we just I thought it's a good business model because for me it's like I like business models are very simple. I rent a space. If you see my P&L, you will know how I make money. It's just I rent a space, I renovate it, then I chop it up in places, then I rent it out. So I started that side lah. But of course I always tell people that I was duped into it because
Well, what do you mean?
Because when you want to start a business, I go do all the markets research, and back then it was all the co-working spaces in Singapore, and I go to visit all of them. They're all full and they're all seemingly doing well, but it's only later I realized that they were all losing money, and they're all losing money because none of them was selling at the prices that they published.
So okay lah, just me, I'm outsider, right? Don't even have business experience, I just think about co-working spaces, right? So let's say you rent, especially when starting out, right? It just seems very scary because how are you gonna get, how if you're starting out your business, not only getting the name out there, how do you get, and then you rented it, right? Do you rent all of it right now? Or yeah, so you if you rent it, right, you're just thinking, how do you obviously go with a contract, how do you fill up,
Yeah, I
the
know.
spots for that's the scariest thing that people were to think about,
You know, the first lease we signed, it was for the rental was 50,000 a
which
month.
was the first branch, sorry.
Kia Ping, in Kia Ping lah, the first colony
Where is Kiap? Yeah.
in near Pavilion, like
Is it the one that David did the, not that one, the Boulevard?
not that one, not that
Because I
one.
saw you got Mutiara Damansara, Eco World, Mont Kiara,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the KLCC. So this Kiaping,
Kia Ping one is the first one. There were actually 6, but we closed down 2. Every time we close down, where we open new outlets, we always close down the non-performing ones.
I see. Okay.
So and then we have another 12 Jerry's lah. Jerry's the mass market one. So so total our group now has about 16 spaces lah around KL, and yeah. So the first time we opened that one, I remember it was like 50,000 ringgit a month, and it was daunting to me lah. Like, oh shit, 50,000 a month is a lot to pay, to be on the hook for at least 3 years, right? But we just
3-year contract.
at least 3 years lah,
Oh dear.
because we committed to it, and then if we terminate early, we have to pay up the rest anyway. Okay, so there's no exit, So, but anyway, we still plowed ahead. We went on, and and slowly we build. Today, I mean, our rent bill is crazy. It's like 600,000-700,000 ringgit a month, So, but it's more than 10 times that. But yeah,
Can talk about the capping one. So, okay, so you 3-year contract, okay,
Yeah.
50K a month. What was your, like, before signing the lease and all? What did you already have so many potential clients?
No.
Or so how do
we signed the lease, and then we just like, okay, let's just go with it lah.
how come, bro? How come you can you know what I'm saying? How come you have that balls or
Sometimes maybe it's balls, sometimes it's ignorance lah.
ignorance?
I just jump first, then figure out how to swim later. I don't know.
I'm sure you felt all the pressure also,
Yeah, I did.
and that is what pushed you, lah.
But I mean, it's like, look, I'm in here already. I cannot fucking fail, so I better make it work. You know what I mean? So for me, just that lah.
It's a belief in yourself.
No, it's just not
No.
not really a belief in myself, but just like, look, I don't have a choice. I got to make this shit work.
Okay.
I can't just quit. I can't just resign. I can't just So, yeah.
Okay, so how did the first 12 months go?
Oh, actually, we operationally broke even within 3 months, and then after that, it did well, and that funded all the future outlets lah that we expanded to.
Apart from rental costs, right? What sort of operation fees? Like, is it huge?
Oh yeah. Of course, staff costs, marketing costs is heavy. We spend mostly on performance ads, like maybe 1.5 million a year just on marketing.
Like you're talking about Google Ads?
Yeah, Google,
Ooh.
Meta, all that lah.
How about when you first got the space, like just to build it up, did that cost a lot?
Yeah, and renovations also a lot. That space, it was already nicely done up, so maybe we spent about 1 million on that space to kind of do it up a bit more.
Yeah, but in first 3 months you already can break
Even. Yeah. Operationally, yeah, not ROI.
Oh, okay, okay.
Not like you get all your capital back.
Yeah.
And for us, because it's even up to today, I can't really tell you for sure like what's our ROI for that first outlet, because we keep reinvesting into the future outlets, right? So, but our best performing is 1 year return on capex, which is our colony at Monkera, the latest one. That's
I went before for Haris show.
Yeah. That one returned our capital in 1 year. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, and what do you attribute that to?
Luck, I think.
Location.
Luck. The building is very good. The building's very good. The landlord did a very good job with the building. That it's luck lah. Really, I think we're lucky we met this landlord, and the landlord gave it to us.
6 running. This is the most ever lah. That is running at the same
No,
time.
actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 running. There are 5 lah. 5 coming. The 5th one is being built now lah. So there are 5 we have leases on, and another 12 Jerry's. So 17 altogether lah.
How is the stress now compared to when you just started?
I think it's a lot more calmer now because we're a bit more stable now. But there was a time where we're not stable, right? Because as a group, an individual outlook can make money, but as a group we're losing money, right? Or not making money, like on the borderline of like just cash flow break even, you know. But but we keep reinvesting, then it gets to a certain scale where okay, fine, you know, now it's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. And
so-
also trust in its worked before.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
it could still keep working.
Yeah.
You know. How about do you think much about the future of this industry?
Yeah, I think this industry definitely there is a lot of demand for the product,
Yeah.
but I do think it's a very difficult industry also. It's like it's an industry where it's really dominated by the top few players lah. You know, and so we're lucky in Malaysia with one of them.
Yeah.
In Malaysia, it's very unique, right? None of the overseas players are top here in Malaysia. It's all local players,
What do you mean overseas owned?
overseas owned, yeah. But in Singapore, in what there's like, you know, the number one can be the overseas ones,
Yeah.
the WeWorks and all that.
But why you say you're lucky because of that?
In Malaysia, they just never came. They never
Okay.
meaningfully came. WeWork came, but not meaningfully, because maybe for the longest time Malaysia is just a market that. to
But
them was not
why
interesting.
is it like a big threat like if an overseas player come in? Bro, sorry if my
Yeah.
questions are stupid, man.
No, I think it's always a threat because if they come and they have more tolerance to burn capital,
because of their their capital is just huge.
they can burn capital, right, and drive you. So actually, pre-COVID was horrible for us during the WeWork days,
Oh
because
my god, I didn't even ask about during COVID yet.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, we can talk about that also.
So before COVID was horrible because when everybody was raising money because of this WeWork hype, right? Everyone had money to throw and nobody needed to make money. So the selling price of the products were just like, I mean, of a seat or a office space was just terrible. It cannot make money. The economics was so disrupted. Then, fortunately, WeWork died, so the funding dried up. And then second thing, COVID came, and then that killed a lot of people. And whoever's left benefited post-COVID.
So the whole the COVID I guess 20
Yeah.
to mid 2021.
Yeah.
How many do you all have running?
In COVID, we had 5.
5. How do you all
5.
survive so long, man?
Yeah, it was very difficult for us because
A lot of recovery after that also.
yeah, a lot of recovery, and then we are worse than the typical co-working space because 1/3 of our revenue comes from event space, and during
There's
COVID,
no event.
that's zero. For over a 2-year period, right? You know, they can even they will open restaurants, they open gyms and everything, right?
Yeah.
But they won't open event space because that's the last thing they care about or should open because that's the biggest infector of all, right?
Yeah.
So that was bad shape for us.
Can I ask you like the whole time, right? Whenever we had the
MCO?
whole time the lease was running.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but we put on some knee pads and we got on our knees and begged the landlords for discounts, reliefs and all that.
Not shy, have to.
Have to lah, freaking dying. Otherwise we would have died lah. And our lease is structured well. Okay, so there are two ways to go into co-working business. One is that you go to a top end place. You go to a TRX, you go to a Mid Valley, you go to one of these places lah, top buildings, high demand. You rent a space at premium rates lah, but your demand will come easier because it's easier to sell
location,
The location is good but your payback is very long, and you don't have much negotiating power there, right? Because the landlords are like, I don't need you what. Or our strategy is to go into new buildings, and then instead of paying for the high rate, we take a low rate plus a revenue share. Right, so the landlord gets a share of our revenue. So that saved us because during COVID, when our revenues collapsed, our rental also came down. If we were stuck with that, right,
Okay, that's why. Okay.
we'll be dead today.
Okay, so it's not like you all had the agreement plan because like, you foresee something like COVID happening. It's also no idea. It just so happened that
Well, we always plan this agreement because it's like, okay, it's like you hedge yourself. In case this center
Yeah,
fails,
understand.
we don't die so badly, but we give up upside lah. And we cannot go to the top locations lah. So there's some pros and cons there. But then nobody expects COVID will be so severe, right? So our hedge really paid off lah. It's like having a put option or something that really paid off lah. Yeah.
How long did the recovery take, man?
Well, actually, you know, we were suffering in 2020 and 2021, right? By 2022 end, the rebound was very strong. Or maybe by the first half of 2023, we made back everything that we lost and more during COVID, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's fast, bro.
Very fast. It was the rebound was strong because the unit economics were much better. You know, events came back with a raw. You know.
you're not shy about saying like you think you're lucky or somehow. What do you think you would be doing if it's not co-working spaces, man? Because you got plenty of ideas, or maybe you have some right now that you haven't even haven't even dove further into exploring yet.
You know, I wanted to do something that was meaningful for the world, you know. So at one point after I left, I wanted to do like renewable energy.
This is after
Nuffnang.
okay,
I wanted to do
renewable energy,
I wanted to do like
solar.
solar, you know, but I didn't go into it because solar is actually very controlled. That you need certain government licenses and everything. If you want to do a solar farm and all that, but in order to, but the area that we can go into as a nobody in the industry is installing solar installers.
You know, I was I was selling solar panels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did in 2007. Sorry, 2000. 17, 18 lah. I
Yeah.
went door to door in Melbourne, knock,
Oh.
and I was selling solar panels.
Yeah.
They tell us that first line lah, you know, you have a pitch, right? First line, when they open the door, I say, don't worry, I'm not selling something because I'm setting an appointment. The appointment's with the solar expert lah. Okay, the solar expert is actually just people in my job, my role, get promoted, they become solar expert lah. Yeah. So, solar panels 2017 in Australia, right? I remember going into this sales role, right? The next week, because we have our number, ID number of the employee, the turnaround was so fast that the next week I come, right, almost 100 different people come and go. And I thought like, okay, maybe direct sales is just brutal, it's like that. And then after that, I figured out it had something to do with the industry. So I had no knowledge, bro. I'm just a dude up after graduating from business school. And, you know, to find a permanent role, right, if you don't have a PR in Australia, companies they're not gonna give you the luxury of training you, building you up, and then, I'm sorry, you can't actually stay? I wasted my time. So they're not gonna do that lah. So opportunities I had were direct sales and they just came like that because it's just contract work. You're just a gig worker. Yeah, so I did go door to door, and then everyone is very how do I say it? Like, you're not just a pesky salesman. Like, once they hear about the solar panel thing, right, they're like, they don't want, you know. And then in fact, right, let's say I set 15 appointments like that in that 1 week. The next week, right, then we will find out over the weekend. We'll find out how many actually made it to the appointment. You get commission only if they attend the appointment. And sometimes can be a set 15. Next week only one shows up. Then after I only did that job for 1 month. After second, third week, I start to talk to the customers. I tell them like, if they reject me already, I say like, can I just know like I'm not gonna try and sell you anymore. I just want to know like why. And then this dude was explaining to me. He said like, when this solar panel thing was introduced, I think 10 years before when I was working there, right, in Australia, it was great because government were offering very good rates, return rebates and all. So it was a really good thing. You put the solar panel within 5 years, you cover back already, and after that you just start saving. You just start saving on electricity. So it's just a 5-year period where you cover back. But then when I was there, they said it's about 20 years just to cover back. So it was just a horrible idea already. Yeah.
So I didn't go into this solar installer thing because there's no mode. I felt there's no mode. It's just purely a contractor
What
kind
do
of
you
work.
mean no mode?
Like mode MOAT lah. Like there's no competitive edge. Like anyone can be a solar installer, right? It's not like your solar farm. At least you have, you know.
You wanted to be the supplier.
Just a solar installer lah. Like just an installer. You know, like most of the companies today. Now, so I did go into that because of that. But actually, that turned out to be a mistake because whatever you said happened in Australia, that just happened in the past 5 years in Malaysia.
Can you tell me more about that? Yeah. So what's happening? I see houses with solar panels. This was like
the government had that. The government strongly pushed solar. You have a 2-year payback for solar because of all the government incentives that just expired in July this year lah. But they're going to renew it lah, right? Okay. So there was a whole boom in solar installation. So
when was the boom?
It's been ongoing for the past 5 years. Okay. So anyone, right, who does solar, bro, in Malaysia, a solar installer, and it really is a contractor, anyone is all making money. And they're having the best years of their lives. And that's the best market to be in. A market where you don't even have to be good to make money because the market is booming.
But you had this idea so long ago already.
Yeah, but you see, where I didn't see is that I didn't think that the government will push the incentive so hard. Because now, long term, this solar installer business is a very difficult business to be in because there's no competitive edge. You're going to have 100 installers all buying different solar panels from any supplier you got. Basically it's a contractor lah.
Yeah.
You cannot compete long term, but right now
Yeah.
you can. And so these guys, the past 5 years, what they do, they quickly bring it to the stock market, raise IPO it, sell shares. In 10-15 years when the government policy changes, unless they pivot into something different, the story might be very different. But at least for now, in the past 5 years, they have outperformed most people.
So why is the government pushing it in your
Because the
opinion?
government wants green energy, so they can take, this is why it's all a whole chain, right? Because they want to, it just makes sense. One of the biggest thing, we're trying to bring our budget deficit down,
Okay.
right? We have, one of our biggest expenditures is subsidies, TNB subsidies, petrol subsidies. Solar directly impacts that. If you have an EV and you have a solar, you take less petrol subsidies, you take less TNB subsidies.
Okay, it's all
It's all wet.
correct.
It
Yeah.
just makes so much sense.
Okay, so
you
this
know?
is something actually government should have been getting
Yes.
on a long time ago
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, and I mean I didn't have the foresight to see that lah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how long have you been observing actually this solar industry in Malaysia?
No, I've just the past couple of years, and I've got friends who are in it, and
Oh, okay.
nobody is losing money, bro. I don't know a single solar fella who's losing money, no matter how lousy they are.
Okay, so now what is stopping you?
Because I think I'm freaking late to the game already. There's already so many in there. It's too late already. And maybe this might go on for another 3 years or something like that. You go in now, you're dead lah. It's all about timing.
Oh, you think now is definitely too risky already?
Again, I was wrong before about this whole thing, right? So I don't know.
So let me ask
can't
you,
predict the future.
were you a big Bitcoin guy? I mean, are you?
No lah. I do have some crypto, but more for fun lah. Not
Okay.
really, yeah.
People felt like they were late to Bitcoin for the past 10 years already.
Yeah.
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
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 So you never know with this type of thing.
You really never know.
Even when the early days also, you also never appealed or what to you?
No. Because okay, I guess I have a very traditional view of this lah.
True.
The value of every asset, right, is only dependent on one thing. Reliably, it can only depend on one thing. Reliably lah, okay? It can only depend on what is the present value, means the value today, of all the future cash flows that you will get from this asset in its lifetime.
Okay.
So if you buy a business, the value of that business is how much profits it can give you in the next
In this
5 years, 10 years, however long it will last.
Yes.
You buy a property, it's the rental. That's the value of the thing, right? Crypto is a limited supply of nothing.
Okay.
So there's no cash flows tied to it. Now, there's also assets which are like that, which is like art law. Art also is whatever people bid it on.
We saw it, NFTs.
Or but traditional art has been around for a long time, But all these things, right? It's just that as long as people are willing to bid up, then it will keep going up. But the problem is that, right? So I use the word reliable value of asset because it's totally unreliable. Today it can be worth 100,000. Tomorrow it can be worth nothing. It just depends on people's state of mind. But you own this house. Let's say you own this house here in Tabantun. Will it ever be worth zero?
Not in anyone's life. I don't know what lifetime now.
As long as KL is not a war zone, this house will always got people rent. There will always have cash flow coming in. But you cannot say that about crypto lah, And look, I buy crypto also for fun.
Yeah.
But and I have friends who make fuck lots of money from crypto. But I guess life is just, and so I don't fault that. I think it's if that's your risk appetite, then you go. But it's just that based on my own personal principles and why I've missed out on all the upside, and I don't regret it because it's just not my kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just not my kind of thing. It's not something that I would conceivably put my life savings in.
Understand, bro. So I don't understand it in depth like you do, but I do. I think a big reason why a lot of people also have been pushing that aside, right? Is because what are you paying for?
Yes.
Like NFT also, that was the worst one, because like what are you paying for? Someone can take a photo of it, have the exact same resolution of it, and save it. So where's the value?
The value is just depending on what, and so NFT is one example, you can see it. The value is just basically on what everyone else thinks it's worth.
So can I? Okay, now we are going into like we're just talking about cryptocurrencies, and there's so many what do you call this? Those coins are the scam coins
scam coins,
yeah, which is pump and dumps.
Yeah.
What? Why do people say that Bitcoin is different than those? I've heard it before. I can't remember. Why?
Because like the value of Bitcoin is basically the perceived value that everyone else has of it.
Yeah.
And you can say the same thing about US dollar. As you know, it means nothing if nobody today if there's a zombie apocalypse, right? The value of US dollar will be nothing.
It's gone.
You know? The whole it's all that perceived value of it, right? So Bitcoin is strong because that perceived value is there, and now like whether it's institutions buying in or what, there's enough perceived value in it that okay, it's like a gold. Gold also you can say the same thing, what? It's just a commodity, what? But gold throughout hundreds of years of history has that.
Okay. Yeah, it's more proven now.
Yeah, I mean, but of course you never know. Like past performance is no indication of future performance. Who the hell knows, man? But all I know is just this: this house, as long as KL is not in a freaking war zone, it will always be able to rent out.
And if KL is a freaking war zone,
Yes.
there's a whole whatever your priorities in life or whatever direction you think are going is all gone already.
Yeah.
Everything resets.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah. So that's the difference in the class, you see. There's a difference in the asset class, you see. And I think this is very important because, right, the most important thing, right, in buying an asset, right, which is something I don't have very often, right, is the stomach to hold through it as it goes up and go down. You need to either be damn ignorant, right, that you're so blindly stupid that you hold it all the way up or all the way down. Or you need that conviction. You need to believe that this is going to be fucking big. Blindly or what, but I don't have the conviction. I'm very logical, right? So for me, the only way I find conviction is if I do math and I realize that, okay, the price to free cash flow of this stock on this company I'm buying this price is so cheap. I think it's worth holding. It's that conviction.
Yeah. You are a numbers guy.
Yeah, as a numbers guy. But maybe other people can find conviction in other things, because when you buy something and it goes down, right, suddenly, right, fuck man, bro, everything evaporates, man. Your confidence shakes and everything. So how do you hold through it,
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's got a bad rap already, because so many people are just literally using it as pump and dumps.
Yeah. I mean, the scam coins definitely. Because it's like cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy. Do you invest much in residential real estate?
I have one property in Malaysia. I had one in London many years ago. Sold it. They haven't made some money. I had one in Malaysia that after for 10 years I'm still losing money, bro.
Hold for 10 years, were you leasing the whole time?
Yeah, almost the whole time. But just that cannot, once you net management fees, you net all other costs.
A big loan,
Yeah, I take a loan. The repayment doesn't cover the loan. Every time I got house repair, I got to fix it. The house price had not appreciated in 11 years, not even 10 years.
So, bro, I told you I was doing real estate, right? And then I saw your what's that? Your clip about property gurus.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Also like it can also apply to a lot of other gurus,
Yes.
Especially sales gurus. Bro, the other day I was watching this video. I wasn't watching this video. I was watching a YouTube video, and then they got those ads come out, right?
Yeah.
So this Malay lady on stage, she's saying literally the thing cuts to my mentor gave me the courage to just give it my all, and in the first hour I closed 35 sales, and everyone start clapping. I'm like, who the fuck is gonna buy that? And obviously, you've seen also there's a lot of gurus advertising lah. The video you're talking about, Property Guru, right? So they make most of the money from, if you're wondering, you go to their class, they teach you how to invest. But what people don't talk about is what you mentioned lah. They make the money from the fees that they pay for the course, which is, you go for a course and then they try to sell you to the next course, which is probably a bit more, what do you call that, up close, more personalized with your teacher or whatever. So I was selling real estate, right, in Melbourne, dude. And when you're selling real estate, you look at you get access to all the stock list, the numbers, everything lah. I couldn't make sense of how people were is either they want investment property or to stay right, or to occupy. I couldn't make sense of how, if you are someone, right, a regular person who pays a 10% deposit and they're taking a loan, a good loan, how are you going to make back the amount of money that you're paying? Is literally just to pay the interest rates only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't understand, and the only ones that I knew that were making money are the ones that straight up bought with cash, and there's a lot of China buyers. How, like, do you understand?
Yeah, so
Who are the ones that are, from just leasing perspective, right? How are they making a good bang for their buck?
yeah, I'm not I'm not a property expert lah.
Understand.
You know, and I don't have a track record of it. I have one other property that I bought in Malaysia. I lost money. You know, I've but what you need.
Oh, did it grow? Did it grow in value? Even though
No,
you didn't?
lost money. I mean, it stayed the same in value
In how many years?
in 11 years. So it means I lose money lah. You know, so okay, but you know sometimes like I think Malaysia is a market where our property market is so challenging, right? That it's not one of those markets, right? Like in a way, maybe Australia's like that or Singapore's like that when everything's floating up.
The Australia was okay. 2000. So I joined 2017. Okay, it was booming about 13 to 16 like that. 12 to 16 like that. 4 years, literally booming. I see the prices 30, 40, 50% increase. It's crazy. And when I joined, the time was the worst period until now, which is so I left in 2020 until now 2025. 8 years already lah. After when I joined, right, it's still about the same.
I thought it went up. I thought it's up further. No.
Okay, I haven't paid attention the last 2 years. Maybe up 10-20%, but it stayed stagnant for a long time. Yeah.
So in a poor market, right? In a bad market, right? In any market, there always be people who make money on, but it's just that you have to be damn bloody good lah. You know, how good are you in making the money? And also maybe you need some luck lah, right? But like I made money in London, right? On my property there. 1.5 years, I think.
Which years were this? Sorry.
Huh?
Which years were this?
This was probably in 2011 or 12 or something like that, you know.
Did you say you sold it?
Yeah, sold it.
Yeah, when did you sell it?
I can't remember exactly, but I remember that in 18 months, right, I sold it for 30% upside. And I think
18 months and
18 months.
Yeah.
And it was, and because if you take into account the loan and the thing, I probably doubled or tripled my down payment, my investment, you know. Yeah. And it was it was a time where the rental really was being covered by the loan repayment was being covered by rental. Yeah. But does that make me good? Fuck no. You know why? Anyone else who bought at that time made fucking money.
No, really, bro, really.
Yeah.
So the Australia boom, right? What happened was suddenly there's this. It's also around the same time where I started studying in college in 2012.
Yeah.
And the few years before that is when all the China students started coming in.
Yeah.
They just had a big injection of China money lah.
Yeah.
A big one. So what happened in 2017 when I joined? They literally put a 7.5% tax. So that's the reason why it started to stagnate. Literally because people are not buying. And then you can see, right, I'm the agent that I'm selling. Wow, people offering commission. 5% commission, sell this property, plus 10% commission. And you know, these buildings are there forever lah. I just cannot sell. I mean, for the time I was doing it 2.5 years, you can see no one buying.
Yeah.
It's not because it was just too expensive. Really, it didn't make sense.
Yeah. So I mean, property is just difficult. But I guess you want to be, for me lah. It's like you want to be in the markets where where it's all rising, where it's not difficult to make money even if you're not very good lah. You know, and Malaysia is not one of those lah. Malaysia, you really have to be good to make money in property, or you have to have a very very long term view 20, 30 years.
You would think that the people in the industry, right, the people selling, they are the ones that will make the they will be having good investments and all, but that's not the case. Some of agents also, they buy shit because hype, I don't know. Yeah.
Because it's just damn difficult, bro. It's very hard to outperform a market. Any market, stock market, crypto market, whatever, you know. It's just very hard. It's just damn hard to make money lah, because you're competing with everyone else.
There was something, right, that I noticed what people did in Australia. So it was also the bad time where the whole time I was there, it was bad market time. Some China dudes, right, one of this client I was working with, so it's a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
He started partitioning into 6-bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was renting it out for a really good price to students.
Yeah.
So you're talking about to outplay the market. He was one of those outliers. Which was illegal. Okay, so it was actually illegal. I don't know how he worked around it, But yeah, I knew that client was covering his loan, his interest, comfortably. Okay, bro. You got some advice for entrepreneurs?
I think, yeah, I guess maybe I talk about how like sometimes I just like I just jump into it and just do, and then I just figure out. But I think it's very important that the calculated bet you're taking is that if you fail, it doesn't kill you, it doesn't put you in an irrecoverable position. So for example, what is an irrecoverable position? It's like if I go in and then I'm starting to take debt, right? Or I take high interest debt, like freaking like 2% a month. That's irrecoverable. You can't fucking recover from a 2% a month interest. So
Which is people who own property, a lot of them are fuck like that.
yeah, no, I mean, at least property is like, you take a bank loan is one thing, but like, when you're taking like high interest loan from loan sharks or whatever shit, right, bro, and then you because you're desperate, maybe you need to save your business or what, right?
Loan sharks. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Or those illegal money lenders.
Along lah.
Yeah. Like if you do it, that's irrecoverable. You will never be able to recover that.
Yeah.
Or,
But
not
how
never,
come you're
never.
talking about loan sharks?
No, I say that like I'm giving an example of like,
Yeah.
don't put yourself.
Okay, I
in-
thought you had experience.
No,
with it.
no, I don't. So like even I throw myself at it, right? But I just always know that okay, if I die, okay, I will not say die lah. But if I fail, this is how much I will eventually lose. This much time in my life, this much money, and everything, and it's not in an irrecoverable position. If you take bank loan also, you can recover because maybe you're paying like 6% a year or something, 7% a year. But but it depends lah. If your loan is like super huge, then that could be irrecoverable as well lah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, yes, be adventurous, but be brave, have courage, be bold. Like they always say, be bold, but I guess know our limits lah. Yeah.
So what do you think about Anwar so far since 2020, man?
I mean, I've said this before actually. His policies, right, have negatively impacted my business, the SST and everything.
Okay.
Our profits have been affected by it significantly, but I do think as a Malaysian he's doing the right thing. And I do think that his goal to reduce the budget deficit is something that I support lah.
Yeah. What are the things?
Like what he's doing is that he's taxing the rich, and giving it to the lower income, and needs based. Right, needs based to whoever and he's giving it to people who need it. So he's like taking away the subsidies from people who don't need it, petrol subsidies. You don't need petrol subsidies, bro. And he's giving it to the people who really do. And I think that's the right thing to do lah. In principle.
Yeah. And now is next step is to do that for the NEP also.
For the NEP, but the NEP already is up to 1990 ma.
What do you mean?
The NEP is already from 1970 to 1990 already. Right?
It's not in play right now. What?
Yeah, it's not in play. And actually, do you know that since
No, what do you mean? Like NEP, that includes the what housing discount, all those also NEP.
Oh yeah, okay. But
Mm.
if you look, even in not even his time, I think even during Pakatan's first term, 2NM's time, if I'm not mistaken, they were already going for like more needs based help. More needs based.
Because one of the biggest people always non-Malays, obviously most non-Malays they have an issue with that. They always say like, okay, yeah, fine, NEP works because the initial goal is to help out the majority race, right? They were doing badly economically, but make it more catered to the people who really need it.
Yeah.
So you're saying that they're
already doing it already. From Pakatan's time in 2018.
Oh, okay. So people who are like, let's say for housing loans, if you're capable, you won't receive those. I think you still get it. But
If you're capable, you won't receive that. No. Not to say that you won't still get it. Not say you won't get that. Those kind of things you can still get, but they are refocusing really into needs based rather than just pure race. But of course, there's still a need because today a lot of the, if I'm not mistaken, I read the stat right. Even though the NEP has okay, so actually I have a video about this. I have a video of this coming up right. It's about,
what is it about, bro?
it's about how the NEP has actually helped the Chinese.
I was just telling Hanson, all your videos you can put it into one podcast. It's so interesting.
So it's about how the NEP actually helped helped. The NEP actually helped even the Chinese, and we may not know that.
Oh, this will be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually helped the Chinese, and I think that, and the reason for this is very simple. Before the NEP in 1970,
70,
right?
yeah.
Now, when we grew up, our parents always tell us, "Oh, this NEP and all that is because of keeping stability and everything," right? That's our parent teachers, why? Right?
No, my friends didn't say much. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
have a narrative for that. Yeah. Okay.
But it's about, let's say, keeping, because May 13 happened and
oh,
all
okay.
that.
Stability because
May 13 happened.
understand.
But actually, there's a more important benefit to that, right? What happened in 1970 was that there was the majority of the population, meaning the Malays, had only about 2% of like the corporate wealth or
contribution.
equity, or corporate equity lah, or like
Okay.
or wealth lah, or equity
Okay.
lah, something like that,
Yeah.
and that's ridiculous. You can't have 50% owning 2%, So by the end of 1990, it went up to 20%. The target was 30%, but it hit about 20%,
Which is great also.
which is great lah. Yes, it created an elite class and all that, right? But it, in aggregate, what it also did was it created a middle class of Malaysians. You cannot have a middle class, right, if your majority of the population is excluded from that.
Sorry, say that again. You can have a middle class.
Yeah, you cannot have a middle class, right, if the
If
majority,
that didn't happen now, if the NEP didn't take place.
what middle class are you going to
yeah,
have
right.
if the majority of that? Now, how did the middle class help us? Today, everything from shopping malls to all our jobs and all this shit and all this, to the fact that why did Taman Tun's prices go up?
Because of the middle class.
Because the
being
middle class came, because people from
capable.
all the outskirts areas all came in, because they pursued this Malaysian dream, right? And this middle class that was helped by this civil service and everything, right? That helped bolstered the property prices here, the buying of cars, buying of all sorts of stuff that bolstered the economy. And today, big chunk of our Malaysian economy, if not majority, is actually consumer based. Consumer-based spending account for most of our GDP. So imagine if we don't have a middle class today, right, bro? Fucking different.
I heard that middle class is actually slowly diminishing. Is that true?
No, it's not true. The middle class is there, but the middle class is also struggling. Okay, yes.
No,
Today,
when I say diminishing, I'm saying
Yeah.
because of the upper and lower pushing it to.
yes. Globally, actually, it depends on what's that. Okay.
The rich is getting richer, the poor is suffering.
So we have that perception, right?
Yeah.
But globally, there's a book called Factfulness you can read, lah, right? That actually they look at the wealth gap, right? Is even throughout the history, it means the 1,000 years, right? It was much worse, lah. But of course, you look at 1,000 years is different, because you had the 1,000 years, you had like the warlords or all that, and then you had peasants, right? Okay, different, lah, right? But
The slaves also.
slaves and all that. Maybe that's a very extreme case, lah. But over time, what that book Factfulness, I remember they cover, was that actually it is getting better over time, But yes, even in Malaysia, where we're struggling, the middle class is struggling because our incomes are not growing as fast, but inflation is going up. But I think our government just said what we actually have almost eradicated hardcore poverty in Malaysia. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's news that came out today.
Wow.
Bro, that we talk about China lifting how many 100 millions of people, right, out of poverty, right? We almost did it. We are still struggling. Our middle class M40, B40 still need a lot of help, right? But
Compared to 30 years ago, before pre-NEP, something has significant.
Yes.
There's been significant changes, man.
yeah, and we have benefited from, and then another benefit. So then I asked myself, and this is also part of my video. What happens if we didn't have the NEP, right? And a good example of that is Brazil.
Okay, tell me about that.
Brazil
Yes.
had a same problem, big wealth gap. There was no affirmative action to help the poorer population, poorer part of the population.
Which was the majority population, is it?
I think it's the majority population. Yes, I think it's the majority population.
Yeah, which
right?
are the native Brazilians.
And what happened then? What happened then was the gap today got even far bigger, right, than it was before. And that's why it's known for all this, if you see all the
The favelas.
favelas and all that, So then what happens there? Crime is a lot higher.
Yeah.
You know, today
Definitely.
the fact that you can walk down here to 1U without getting mugged, that is thanks to our economy, wealth being redistributed to everyone. You see, so actually, you know, it's something that I think that
Hey, it's really interesting point of view.
yeah.
Yeah. Because people's, especially non-Malays, their even some Malays, their perspective of NAP, um, they just say that it's just all benefiting the elites and gets worse and worse.
Yes, it did create an elite class, right? But at the same time, I mean, based on the numbers lah, right? It went from 2% to 20%. The middle class started being formed, you know. So look, we can always argue about execution. You know, things could have been better and everything.
Of
But
course.
did it really help? Did it work? You know,
Yeah,
it worked
did
lah.
lah.
It worked lah. You know,
But-
in large, it worked.
I've seen so many videos talking about how the NEP didn't work and all. I mean I can't remember what's
Yeah.
their arguments are. Yeah, but I guess there's also different there'll be different perspectives.
There are always there's always more details in it lah. You know that of course we can say this one could have been better and all that. Yes, I agree. Everything we do could be better. You know, but actually, so when I start reading all this about Malaysia, right, and
So interesting, right?
that's why my videos, right, people tend to think I'm very pro government and think that I'm very like I'm paid by the
You're a
government.
DAP guy lah.
I've never been paid by the government, you know. I've never been paid by the government. And right, because the more I dig into this rabbit hole and study our history, I'm like, oh shit, we actually have so much to be grateful for. You know, actually, you know, like life here could be better. A lot of us are still struggling.
You know why? A big reason is
Yeah.
people always. It's very easy for non-Malay to just compare our country to Singapore. They
Yeah.
want the same success that's
Yeah.
they will just say like, oh, Lee Kuan Yew left. You know, if we they compare it like, okay, look in that time frame,
Mm.
how much they can grow, how much they have grown, compared to us. But those are just.
Mm.
It's looking from really the outside lah.
I mean, that's like comparing it with like, okay, it's like that. Comparison is the thief of joy. Today, right, you buy yourself a new car, you're damn freaking happy, right? You buy yourself a new BMW 5 Series, you know, and then you feel happy until your friend pulls up right next to you in a 911 Turbo S. Then you're like, what the fuck? It's like that lah.
You know, sometimes it's like this might be not the best comparison. I don't know, but people every time talk about the, let's say, foreign workers come here, the Bangla workers, they're here, then they say they're very pitiful and all. Yeah, just like maybe you don't know from their perspective. Maybe they fucking love it here. The conditions here are so much better than where they were from, in which kampong in Bangladesh. Yeah, so it's like perspectives. Yeah. I don't know whether you would have a say in this, but election is next year already, very fast. Do you think he's gonna retain? You know, I mean, do you know any Chinese people that wouldn't support DAP?
I do know.
Yeah, is it because they're involved?
No, not because of that, but because, you know, like maybe they're business people and they've been hurt like by some of the things like me. You know what I mean? Like, I've been hurt, right? And for people, they maybe not everyone is, I guess, like me, where I'm thinking like, okay, this is bad. It's bad for me personally, but it's good for the country. Maybe some people, you know, they vote with their pockets, right? I get that, you know, that's fair. You know, it's for them back. So, but who knows, man? I mean, honestly, our elections have been really a toss-up, lah. You know, it's really very
Especially the
important to
last
tell.
one,
You can't tell, you know, you can't tell. So I don't want to, I can't predict either, lah. You know, all I just hope is that we just have good leadership, lah. You know, who runs the country well. You know, that's all, lah.
Okay, one last question. Okay, advice to 18-year-old team. So Nuffnang was how old?
Yeah, 22 I started. 22, 23.
Where were you, man?
I was in A levels in Help University. Back then it's called Help Institute.
So 19 you went to London.
Yeah, 19 I went to London.
Okay. Which high school you went to?
I was in Penang, St. Xavier's.
Oh, so you actually never lived in KL until after uni?
Yeah, until A levels.
Okay.
Until A levels only.
Yeah. Okay. Advice to the team that just left Penang. You did A levels in KL, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A-levels in
Advice
KL.
to that team.
Fuck. Your life is, there's just so much ahead of you. You're gonna get fucked by people. but you know, and you got to go through so much shit, but so much good times as well. But shit, but the good thing is that at least up until you're 41 years old, it will turn out to be okay. Who knows after that, fuck. You know, but
Do you ever get like imposter syndrome? Like, because I'm sure people respect you because of your businesses. You get imposter syndrome. Oh?
yeah, of course, bro.
So what do you think?
I never talk about like, you know,
the mental side.
No, I just don't think that. First of all, I don't think I always, when people are kind to me, right, and I always say, bro, I think you see me too up because honestly, I'm not as rich as you think I am, nor as successful, and there are people who are far greater than that, you know. So yeah, you know, even this, whatever social media success is just temporary, bro. Everything is temporary.
Everything's temporary.
You know, so. But the good times are always temporary, but the good news is that the bad times are also temporary.
Yeah. Very positive way to end things. Okay. Alright guys, that's it for today's podcast episode. We've got Team Tiah on this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment what you thought about today's episode, suggestions in future podcast episode, and give it up for Timothy Tiah, guys, and we will see you in the next episode. Let's get it.
Okay, thank you.
To my homies, I'm missing my oldies, my brothers, my cronies. We all went to court, but before only courts that we knew were the ones where we were shooting three, selling Kobe. To a legend, rest in peace to the old me, rest in peace to my brothers, rest in peace to my whole team. The oldest, I'm missing my shawty.